This is the Ford Mach-e all-wheel drive, but it is not in center of this show. I mean, it kind of is, but it isn't, because this video will be about Ford's newly released BlueCruise here in Europe. Welcome to It's Only Electric. Let me just explain the basics and why I choose to dedicate a video to Ford BlueCruise. So BlueCruise is Ford's own autonomous driver aid system level 2. And for you that doesn't know, the scale goes from 0 up to 5, where 5 is fully autonomous driving. So Ford internally calls it 2+, but there is no 2+ in the scale, so it's still a 2. So what's unique with that? Nothing, you may think, and that's correct as an initial thought. Because all the manufacturers today that delivers EVs has the hardware and the software capable of level 2 autonomous driving, such as this car. But the unique selling point here is that Ford recently certified the system in Europe, 15 countries included, 17 globally with US and Canada, for hands-free driving. That means that you can drive the car without holding the steering wheel on highways and without getting bugged every 10th second. So it's actually a more relaxing drive, especially on long trips. So this is what I'm gonna focus on today. I'm gonna drive the car, test all the features, test the limitations, talk about the price, and see, is it worth going for a full subscription? Let's start. Okay, so this won't be needed anymore. Okay, so now I'm traveling on the highway at 110 kilometers per hour. Let me activate BlueCruise. You do that by single tapping the far left button on top of the steering wheel. Just one press and it activates. First off, you see the distance to the car in front of you, the distance setting, and then after like 2 or 3 seconds you need to keep holding the steering wheel and it activates BlueCruise. When it does, the whole instrument cluster turns blue with some kind of round radar flow graphics around the car showing that BlueCruise is active, and also to the left a big steering wheel saying BlueCruise. So you actually can't miss that BlueCruise is active. There is no unnecessary beeps, etc. for activating BlueCruise. That's a neat feature. When big cars, buses or trailers pass by, semi-trucks, it actually moves the car to the outer side of the lane. And that's to create, I mean, it's not necessary actually, but that's to create some kind of secure feeling for the driver and the passengers, because it clearly shows that I know there is coming a big truck on the left side of you, but I move slightly to the right just to adjust the car and to make you feel more safe. That's a neat feature. I mean, it shows that the system is active and that it works. That beep, by the way, is the IR camera that's on top of the steering wheel. It warns me if I look at another direction than straight forward for more than 5 seconds. So if I do like this, I stare at you in 5 seconds and it will start beeping very soon. 5 seconds, then I need to look back at the road, otherwise I will get punished. It will start vibrating the steering wheel and sooner or later start slowing down and come to a full stop. So that's the basics, how you activate BlueCruise. It keeps me in the lane steadily. I can adjust the distance by the distance button here, also at the left side of the steering wheel. There is 4 different levels, where number 1 is the one that's closest, and number 4 blue bars means that it keeps the maximum amount of distance to the cars in front of you. And as you see, I have been traveling for a while, but still don't need to touch the steering wheel. So that normal 10 seconds of annoyance as a reminder of touching the steering wheel or holding the steering wheel is not present. with BlueCruise. So that's very nice. After a while you get used to it, and at the beginning it's actually a bit confusing because you don't know where to put your hands. So I normally anyway tend to hold the steering wheel in a more relaxed way, but I can use both my hands now when talking to you guys. What a pleasure. It works really good. I mean, it's stable, it keeps me in the lane, it keeps the distance very good, it feels smooth, it feels nice. I mean, this will really add a lot of comfort during long trips, for sure. I mean, it will help a lot. I can also drink my protein shake here. A lot easier than in a traditional level 2 driving without the hands-free setting. Now I'm driving very slow. I'm driving 80 at a 110 stretch. That's way too slow, isn't it? And this is where one of the limitations of BlueCruise steps in. It can't change the lane for you, and it is only focusing on a single lane. It's only focusing on the lane you are driving in. So it won't actually consider cars to the left or to the right of you. That means it won't change the lane for you. But if you change the lane, you do it manually by blinking, signaling to the left in this case, and then it will reactivate when you are steady in the lane again. So let me switch lanes now. Signaling to the left deactivates BlueCruise, but still keeps the speed limit. Now it reactivates BlueCruise again. And I'm driving a bit too slow, so let me crank out the speed a bit. And whilst talking about speed, the maximum speed of BlueCruise is 130 kilometers per hour. But I can still set the speed limit to higher than that. Yes, so it deactivates BlueCruise when you pass 130 after a couple of seconds. So now I'm under that again, back to 110. Let's see if it reactivates. Yeah, it did. So when I lower the speed again under 130, it reactivates BlueCruise. That's neat. So I didn't need to re-engage it by pressing the button. Changing the lane again. Let's see if it reactivates. Yes, it does. And it does that very seamless, no beeping, no deactivation or reactivation sound. It's up to the driver to keep in touch with the instrument cluster and to read the information there. So no annoying beeps at all. That's really nice. This is good. It is also warning me about using my hands in front of the IR camera, because that one is always, as you saw, my hands in front of the IR camera, and it starts whining immediately. So that actually sees through sunglasses too, and it tracks this part of your face. So if you have a COVID mask, sunglasses or regular glasses, it will still be in contact with your eyes and measure your expression and see if you look straight forward, at the side, or anywhere else. So that's neat. So we talked about some of the limitations: lane change and only focusing on one single lane, and the top speed of 130 kilometers per hour. The next limitation is that it can't handle road stretches that's in tunnels or roadworks. And it needs a couple of factors to be able to map the road as a BlueCruise road. And one is obvious: needs to be clear markings on the road, and it needs to be divided. The center part needs to be divided by a fence for it to engage. So that's at least a couple of factors for activating BlueCruise. And BlueCruise is available on a certain stretch of roads. So for instance, north of Gävle here in Sweden, there is no BlueCruise available at all. But you can still take the car all the way from Stockholm down to Malaga in Spain using BlueCruise, like 95% of the road stretch. That means that you can really have a very relaxing trip down to Spain from Sweden with a Ford Mach-e. That's nice. It won't handle tunnels, it won't handle roads that's not perfectly marked, and it won't either handle 2+1 roads. I don't know if you know what that is, but it's roads that alternating between 2 lanes and 1 lane. So in general, those roads are 3 lanes in both directions, which means that you're sharing 2 lanes when it's available. So you're alternating 2 lanes. Those kind of roads are very regular or common here in Sweden and not certified for BlueCruise. If you want to know exactly which roads are covered, there is actually an online map showing all the BlueCruise roads around Europe. And as I said, it covers 15 different countries. And unfortunately, here in Scandinavia, Finland and Norway are not covered by BlueCruise. Norway because they're not part of EU, and Finland, I don't know, probably they have some different regulations. This functionality is something that's new in Europe, especially here in Sweden. It is part of the Tech or Tech Plus package. So if you have that and own a newer Mustang Mach-e 2023 and upwards, then you have BlueCruise available if you run the right software. And for you guys that have older versions like 2022 and 2021, you will sooner or later also get it. It is currently not available for your cars, but according to Ford, it will be. So it's just a matter of time. So stay tuned and check Ford's website for more information. There is a free trial of 90 days for all cars. It's still bound to the car, so new owners that has a car that already consumed these 90 days won't be able to test it for free. Otherwise, it costs 290 Swedish crowns or 25, I think it is, 25 or 26 euros a month. So it's kind of a subscription model, but you don't need to subscribe for it permanently. It works exactly the same as Netflix, for instance. You can activate it for 1 month and then cancel the subscription, but it won't cancel automatically. You need to do that. I have now tested BlueCruise for several hours, and I mean, this is not groundbreaking in that manner. It's not a revolution when it comes to self-driving capabilities. It is not an autopilot system, as some brands call it. It is a comfort or driver assist system. So you still need to be very active, keeping your eyes on the road, being active and alert. That still goes for BlueCruise too. But I think it's a nice addition. I mean, especially when you're going to do road trips, I think it's really nice to have it at that occasion. So my recommendation would be to subscribe for BlueCruise as a service, for example, during your vacation in summer, when you and your family are going to do a nice road trip through Europe. This is the perfect package to subscribe for at that specific moment. Then I would go for it like 1 or 2 months, then end the subscription. I would not bother using BlueCruise or paying for BlueCruise during wintertime, because as all these kind of camera-based and radar-based systems, it won't work that good during winter. I mean, if it's snowy, if it's heavy rain, if it's foggy, the system will not work properly and BlueCruise will probably not activate half of the time. So keep that in mind. But if it's dry outside, not that snowy, the roads are clean, then it will work. But I don't know if it's worth the money paying for a subscription if it only works like half the time or randomly. That's my recommendation. Subscribe for it when you need it. It's a great addition and it will really help you relax during long trips. These kind of systems is always evolving, and the autonomous driving, the new regulations are adjusting slowly but steadily, hopefully in the right direction. But I still think autonomous driving at this level, and especially this one that only focuses on one lane and doesn't switch lanes for you, is a bit lacking. I mean, I'm missing some of the functionality that would have been great to have. And according to Ford, there is no hardware limitations for switching the lane. It's more a European thing. The regulation and the certification for BlueCruise here in Europe didn't allow lane change. That needed kind of another certification, and Ford didn't want to put time on that. They wanted to focus on giving and providing BlueCruise to their consumers, to the customers. And I understand that. It's not a big thing, but it would have been good to have even a bigger functionality built into BlueCruise. That's it for today. I hope this video gave you some good information about the Ford Mach-e and that it comes in handy. As I always say, like, subscribe, and engage. Let the comments flow, ask me questions, let us have good discussions about the Mach-e or EVs in general. And most importantly, stay electric. Thank you for watching. Speak to you soon.